Today we'll talk about XSD, that is XML schema definition. Means yesterday and day before yesterday we have talked about data. Okay, today XSD is nothing but a means the structure of the data. How we should define the structure of the data means we means in Oracle usually we'll create um, this thing table with so many columns and all. The same way here we need to create the structure of the XSD. As this is the as this is not the database, we cannot create this structure in any database, just like a database table and all. It is an another kind of file only. The structure is also file with the extension .xsd. Structure of data. Okay, it is also a file. It is also a file with .xsd extension. Now, how it will be there? I will show you one example. Okay, if you are seeing, this is the example. I will explain this particular piece. Okay, let me go to JDeveloper now. Okay, still we have not started any server part, but to understand means if I put this piece of code in JDeveloper, you will easily understand. Means we will have graphical representation in JDeveloper. That is the reason. Okay, in order to create XSD in JDeveloper, I need to do a few things. Okay, I need to have a application. This is the application. Okay, I need to have a project. Means we will discuss about this application project and all once we come into once we step into Oracle Server. But for now, just don't consider means what is means there is no need to understand what is an application, what is a project and all. Just we need to understand what is the schema, means that is nothing but an XSD, and how it can be created. Okay, now I'm going to create a new schema in this way. But it's not like we need to create schema in this JDeveloper and all. It's not like that. You can create schema in Notepad also, the same way. The same way how I created here, the, the same way. There is no need to create schema in JDeveloper. Go to JDeveloper. But if you create schema in JDeveloper, it is easily means you can easily create. Okay, Sridhar has also joined. Let's yeah. Hi Sridhar, good morning. Just now we started 2 minutes back, 1 minute back. Okay, today we are going to discuss about XSD schema. The abbreviation of XSD is XML schema definition. Okay, till yesterday, day before yesterday and yesterday, what we means we have discussed about XML. That is, we have discussed about only the data. We did not discuss about the structure of the data. Means, for example, if I compare with Oracle, we have discussed about only the rows, means the data in the table. But now we are going to discuss about the table structure. Okay, the table structure means it's not like we cannot create a table. Because there we in Oracle we can create a table in database, but here there will be no database. Means we need to create the structure in XSD. Okay, the XSD is nothing but it is just another file. Okay, which will have all the structure related info. Means what is the structure related info? The name of the element. Okay, the data type of the element. If there are any constraints, those things will be there. If there are any restrictions, those things will be there. The combination of all these things is called a structure. Means not only this, there are few more things. We will discuss about those things. Now, how to create a structure? Means this is the basic means which I have created. This is the basic schema which I have created. Okay, and this schema can be created in our notepad. If you are really good in creating schema, you can directly type the less than symbol question mark xml. This is the processing instruction, no? You can directly write in this way, or you can take help from JDeveloper. You can miss once you are into JDeveloper, you can easily create schema. It will help us. Okay, for now don't consider about this is called an application, this is called a project. For now don't consider about an application and project. We will concentrate on only schema. Okay, now I am creating schema in JDeveloper using JDeveloper. I'm will right click on the schema folder. There is no need to means right click on only schema folder, but we can create schema in any of these folders. Okay, there is no restriction, but as a best practice, we need to create schemas in the schemas folder only. For that reason only, Oracle has provided separate folders for each and every um, resource. Means schema is a resource, transformation is a resource, XSLT, we did not talk about that yet. Okay, event is a resource, people is a resource, like that. Okay, now how to create a schema? Right click on the schema, new, from gallery. Okay, if you means this is actually the schema I can create. This is a shortcut, means all the latest latest used resources will be shown here. But if I want to get the schema, if this XML schema is not visible here, I need to go to from gallery, go to XML. You will find XML schema here. Okay, click on OK. You need to give some title, sample. Okay, XSD. Okay, it will ask for target namespace, prefix and all. Okay, you can give the target namespace, and we'll discuss about this target namespace and prefix now. But click on OK. Okay, this is the basic schema it has created, automatically created. Okay, with this particular namespaces, this element form default and all. Okay, I will copy this one, my schema, and paste it here. I am deleting this and pasting it here. Now I am going to design mode. See, here currently I am in source mode. I am going to design mode. See, we got very good design mode here. What we can understand this design mode? These are the child elements. Okay, PO number, PO line number, item number, price are the child elements. Okay, these particular set of child elements are there in purchase order line. Okay, this is a complex element. Okay, These two are another child elements, means I can say these three are another child elements that are there in purchase order header element. Okay, means I can say if we have purchase order, means if we have two tables, that is purchase order header table and purchase order line table. Okay, there in database there will be an individual table. We cannot combine both. If we want to combine both, we need to have a where condition, and both the tables need to have a same primary key and foreign key, like that. In that way we can combine. But here we cannot, we will not have primary key, foreign key and all. In that case, how we need to do? We need to have line information in the header part only. Okay, we need to embed line information in the header part in this way, the way which I have embedded. Okay. Now, by seeing this, did you get some basic idea how to create? Means anyway, we have not gone through it till now, but by seeing this diagram, it is easy to understand. That is the reason I have created in, means I'm creating in JDeveloper. Now we will understand what exactly the source is having. Okay, see, this is the processing instruction. Yesterday we have discussed about this one. The schema. In order to create schema, you need to have a schema. You need to create all the elements and all inside a schema. This node. Okay, the ending of the schema is this one, same schema. Now here, this one. Okay, here in this line, in this particular highlighted part, this part is a namespace. This is the standard namespace of XML schema. Okay, what is this standard namespace? Mm, Means every standard this thing, element, or this complex type sequence. Okay, this min occurs, max occurs, and every standard this thing keyword. Okay, every standard keyword will validate against this standard namespace. The same way we will have our this thing custom namespace as well. Okay, whatever the data we are, means whatever the element which we are creating, whatever the data type which we are creating, okay, will validate against this custom data type. See, how, means I'm telling about validate, no? Means what is this validate exactly? Okay, let's see these things. Okay, means i'm I'm deleting this one. Means XSD colon. Okay, what will happen? It is showing some error kind of thing. Means it is not understanding. Means this element, where this element belongs to. Means to which namespace this element belongs to. Okay, means see, I put like this XSD column, means now it understood this element is belonging to this standard namespace. Means in the starting class and yesterday also, means what I told namespace. Namespace is nothing but a Just we can assume it's not like it's not like the same way which I'm telling, but we need to assume that namespace is a table name. Okay, this is the table name, for example. Okay, this is our table name. Okay, this is the standard table name. Means we need to assume like that, means for our understanding we need to understand easily, no, that is the reason I'm telling this is the table name. Okay, this is the custom namespace. How to how to create a custom namespace. Okay, we can have anything here, means http colon slash slash xmlns dot oracle dot com slash means any your client name dot this thing, and exactly whatever object is representing, means in which module, or means what exact means. For example, here what I have created, PO purchase order slash create, we can also have in this way. Means means this whole schema. Okay, if we want to call this whole schema in another schema, or in any other wisdom, okay, this is the base, means this is the table name for this whole schema. First we need to import this namespace. This is the this is nothing but a target namespace. Okay, first we need to import this target namespace to other schema, then only we can have all these elements in another schema imported. Okay, if we want to use this particular schema in any wisdom, or anyway we'll discuss about wisdom later, no, if we want to use this particular schema in another schema, or in any another wisdom, okay, we need to import this particular schema in the other XSD and other wisdom. Okay, in order to import this XSD, we need to give the target namespace, means the name of the schema. The name of the file is sample.xsd. See here, the name of the file is sample.xsd. Name of the schema I can tell you is this one, target namespace. Okay, usually in Oracle, how we will create a table, create table name, and we will have columns and data types, all these things, no. Here also, if we want to create a table, this is the table name. Okay, and if we want to give a prefix, means an alias to this table name, we cannot give here itself, means alias can be given in a separate line. Means see here, I have defined again the same thing. If you compare this one with this one, yes, please try to understand. Means it is not same as like Oracle. No, that is the reason it will be. Means this the first class we are discussing on XSD. Anyway we have discussed on XML, but XSD, this is the first time. I think you guys are mm, means we need to know completely. Okay, see the namespace, this is the target namespace. No, what I told, this whole schema, okay, can be identified by this target namespace. Okay, if we want to use any element in this schema in any other schema, in any other second schema or wisdom, anything, first we need to import this particular namespace, and we can directly use this one. Okay, then- okay, that is finished. Now, if we want to give an alias name to this, but we cannot use the whole uh, thing, no. If we want to use, okay, see here, I am creating an alias in this way, xmlns colon po object. Okay, for this particular target namespace, how I am going to use this po obj. Okay, first I have created few elements. Means how to create a few elements in this way. Element name equal to whatever the element name you want. Okay, let me create another sample and create it from starting XML schema. Okay, let it be Unix. Okay, purchase order type. Hmm, I have one small, another one. 1 minute. Okay, this is the small one. We'll okay. See, this is the same thing. This is the basic, the very basic schema. Okay, I'm going to source. How to create an element in this? Okay, we have talked about what is a namespace, target namespace, and what is the standard namespace. Okay, we will talk about element form default and attribute form default later. We will try to understand how to create a element, means column. Okay, this is the way we we need to create an element in this way. XSD column, if you give column, it will automatically tell us you want to create an element or group or sequence. It will automatically tell us. Okay, we need to first we need to come from here. Okay, then we need to put it in a complex element. This is the complex element. Process is the complex element. Okay, now here, this element, under this element, if you see, under the process, we have two elements with integer data type. Okay, means this is the parent element, and under the parent element we have two child elements. And this one, this is the parent element. Under the parent element we have one child with data type integer. Source. Okay, now I am again, we are again into source. Okay, we need to create XML XSD column element name equal to, we need to give the name of the element. Then we need to give the data type. Data type means we have so many data types here in in XSD. See, these are all the data types. Means if we click like this, see, if we click like this, JDeveloper will guide us. Means what are all the data types you have. Okay, you can use any of the data type. Means whatever it is appropriate for your column, you can use any of this data type. Now I have used int. Okay, now I have used. Now I am, this is my closing, this thing, closing of the element, slash greater than symbol. Before closing of the element, we will have few more this thing, properties. This is min occurs. Min occurs means how many times. Okay, how many times this element is going to repeat. Okay, means we can put, for example, if we put min occurs 1. Okay, means it is mandatory, this element is mandatory. minimum it should have one means one value, that is for sure, and maximum any, and if we define max occurs 1 to many, unbounded is many. If we want to restrict for only, it means it should only have means it should not repeat twice or thrice, we can put 2 3 like that. Okay, see, unbounded max occurs unbounded, it will automatically guide us. See, if you see, we'll go to design phase. In the design, what I got, minimum, this is the mandatory element, and can be, we can have n number of elements, one to many. Okay, so we can have n number of this number one field. Okay, again go to source. We can also have nullable, this one. This is another property. Okay, nullable true and nullable false means this is same as like min occurs equal to 1, or we can use any of this, min occurs equal to 1 or nullable equal to false. Here I have written, see, nullables, min occurs. There are two ways to represent a null value with the elements, with either the attribute, this is an attribute, nullable equal to true or min occurs equal to 0, means this is not a mandatory element. We are saying this is not a mandatory element. Nullable true, min occurs 0, min occurs 0, nullable true. Now see, design. See, we got dotted lines. Are you seeing? We got dotted lines. Means this is not a, it is telling that this is not a mandatory element. But this one, number 2, it is a mandatory element. Okay, we have solid line representing here. Okay, we'll go inside. Yeah, we have talked about basic properties, basic attributes, means how we need to create an element and how we need to assign the data type for this element, and what are all the other properties we can use along with the element. These are nothing but a constraints. What we will call in Oracle, these are constraints. Okay, now in means element, whenever we are creating any XSD or XML, all the XML nodes need to be embedded in a one root node. Okay, anyway, the main root node here is schema. Okay, now if we want to, if we, means we cannot have this schema in our XPath, no. Okay, this is the standard way of creating. Okay, now we need to embed whatever the simple elements. It's not mandatory, but it's better to embed. See, I'm copying here and putting here. Let's see what happens. I'm deleting this one. Okay, let's see what happens. I'm going to design. See, means this is my column name, this is my column name, and this is also my column name, which is having few simple elements. Okay, it is better to define in this way, not in this way. Okay, means there is no rule that we need to define in this way, and there is no rule that we should not define in this way. It's not like that, but as a best practice, we need to group similar elements. Means, for example, if it is address related information. Okay. We need to group address, means address line 1, address line 2, phone number, fax, country, state, county, all these things in a single complex element. Okay, it is easy to, there are so many advantages if we group in this way. We can easily iterate, we can easily use looping kind of thing. Here we cannot have loop here. Okay, we cannot iterate, but here we can iterate, we can have a loop. Okay, later you will understand, later means how we can have a loop and all. You can understand later. But these are the means, there is nothing like we need to create XSD in this way. Okay, see here, this is the process, I mean this is the complex element which is holding the simple two elements. This element is not mandatory because we have given min occurs equal to 0 and nullable equal to true. We can give either one of the. It's not like we need to use both. You can use any one, either nullable equal to true or min occurs equal to 0. Or you need to, or you can use both. Max occurs unbounded means any number of times it can repeat. Okay, now the same way here also. In the response, we have one element, which is the data type is integer. The data type is integer. Now, what is this element form default equal to qualified? Okay, see here. We have element form default and attribute form default. If you are observing all these things, these namespaces and this element form default, and if you want we can also have attribute form default. See, we can have qualified and unqualified here. Okay, so we can have, these are the basic things we can have in, means these are the these things, these two are not mandatory. It's not like we need to have the element form default and attribute one. But target namespace is mandatory. And means after the target namespace, means we need to give a prefix also. No, it is not mandatory to give a prefix, but we need to define our uh, custom namespace, okay, separately in the same way like this. And using this XSD standard namespace is also mandatory. Now, what are these two, element form default and attribute form default? See, qualified and underqualified. There are these things, properties we can use in element form default, qualified and unqualified, attribute form default also qualified and unqualified. What is this qualified? Elements and attributes are in the target namespace of the schema. Means these elements, sorry, these elements, number one, number two, result, okay, process, response, process, will validate against this target namespace of the schema. Means all these custom, means whatever the elements which we have defined here, okay, all these things belongs to this target namespace. It is saying, mean in this table we have this process, number one, number two, result, sorry, result, these things, as a column, as a columns. Just means I am putting in that way because we will understand easily. Unqualified elements or attributes do not have a namespace. means it will not validate against any namespace. We can directly use just like that. Okay. If the schema defines element from default as qualified, each element must be associated with the namespace. Means this one, the same way. This element, for example, this process element is associated with this target namespace. Okay, this process response is associated with this target namespace. But this element, complex type, sequence, all these things are associated with standard namespace. Okay, all these things are associated with standard namespace. Now, okay, means are you getting means what I'm explaining? Kiran, Lakshman, Manoj, Sridhar, Manoj, are you able to follow?
Either, yeah,
Yeah,
trying to relate, yeah.
yeah, is it good? XSD, is it good? Means this is the basic information. Anyway, we are going to talk tomorrow also on this. Okay. What do you mean by associated with the target? Yeah, Kiran, 1 minute. Okay. Associated means belongs to. This be, this particular element belongs to this target namespace. Okay, but this is the custom element which we have defined. Okay, but these are the standard keywords, no? Element, complex type, sequence. These are the standard keywords. These standard keywords belongs to standard namespace, but the elements, the custom which we have defined, these things means in this particular XSD, this thing is a standard. Okay, we need to use means, for example, how to create a table. Create table name means it is our wish. Table name can be anything, but standard syntax is create table name, mm, column values, something columns, and column name is our means it is, we can have the column name, but the type of the column we need to use Oracle data type. The same way, process is our element name, number one is our element name, number two is our element name, but for creating these things we need to use some standard keywords. XSD colon, this one, element name equal to means, and we'll discuss about this complex type, what is the complex type, what is the sequence and all, we will discuss later, means tomorrow maybe. Okay, other than the standard keywords, whatever that is there. Okay, means those are belonging or associate with our custom namespace, whatever the standard keywords are there. Okay, those all the standard keywords belongs to standard namespace. I think, is it clear, Kiran, now? Yeah. This is, Kiran, this is very, very important because namespace, in and out, in every Oracle server, you will use namespace. But you, after few days, you will not feel like you need to understand namespace and all. It will be automatically generated. But the beauty or the easy part of server is, I can say, there will be no coding. 70% there is no coding. Everything you can, means we can write schema in this way on our own, or directly go here and create. Right click, if I want to create, see, I'm creating an element, I'm creating result 2. Okay, if I want to set the data type, right click, Set type. See, for example, if I set string, I set string. Okay. If you go to source, see, this is the new element got created. Okay, with data type string, and this particular element keyword belongs to standard namespace, and this particular result to this element name belongs to our namespace. I will tell you how you will see and all. Okay, 1 minute.